Good afternoon or morning or wherever you are, everyone. If anybody is watching and wants to tell me on how the levels are sounding, it's totally good. Turn my desktop audio a little bit more so I should be able to hear what's kind of going on. If anything needs to be adjusted, feel free to let me know at any time. I've got a chat on the screen, so I'll be able to tell that. Let's get out of Twitch mode to make sure that nothing explodes and don't get an ultimate feedback loop. I should explain what it is we're doing here. This is the limited level ups Discord, what we're sort of calling the community draft championships. The limited level ups Discord is a collaborative Magic Discord ran by Corticalls, Alex Nikolic, a longtime Magic player, content creator, coach, streamer, etc. Our server is free to join for everybody, and it's a place for people to really talk MTG strategy and MTG improvements, ways to level up your game, get better at the game, and we've got a lot of strong players that love to hang out and discuss Magic strategy, and we'll do things like write up strategy and their thoughts on the most recent format that's active. And there's places for people to request review of their games, their decks, all things like that. Any ways that we can all get better at Magic, things like that. We've been running some pod drafts with people in the server for some time now, and one of the things that we had the idea of doing was try to put together a sort of people in the Discord playoffs championship between us to kind of see, for fun, who's the strongest drafter of the most recent format. And we've thrown this together, looked at the people on 17 Lands leaderboards and other tracking websites for who has the most trophies in Tarkir Dragonstorm, and we put together a list of players. And we've got 8 strong drafters that are going to be throwing it out here in Tarkir Dragonstorm. Wonderboy, good to see you here in the chat. Thank you very much for joining. Let me know if there's anything that should be adjusted with things, if everything's looking all right. Yeah, apologies for the viewers in the chat. This is officially starting at 11 o'clock a.m., which is in 7 minutes from now. So it's more just like of a waiting room. To possibly other co-commentator gets here probably about 15 minutes after we start. Vixisto, thank you for joining us here. I don't think the Twitch stream is closed. Is that not functioning anymore for some reason? That's odd. Okay, cool. That's mysterious. Well, if if Twitch wants to relocate me into their streams, that's a Twitch problem, most likely. It's great that we'll have everyone available. I know we in Padras scheduling availability has been a little bit of a question in the past, but I do want to thank everyone for making it here. It's been a while to put this together, but I'm happy that it all is here. So hopefully this can turn out very well. I guess when there's a little bit of prestige on the line, people are more incentivized to show up. Okay. Let me see. I can see if I can adjust my. I can't adjust my microphone's volume. I can only turn down my computer's volume a little bit. So my computer's volume into OBS is pretty low volume. So the only thing I could recommend is turning up your volume. I don't want to really mess around too much with my my mic gain settings in case things go very badly wrong. All right, well that's good to hear. Okay, if Egg Palpator is Jimbo, then it looks like we have all 8 players here. I will do a ready check. Once everybody selects this, I'm going to hit start. Okay, everyone's ready. Let's get this started. We have using randomized seating here. I am going to spectate. This is interesting. I've never done Street Fighter, no. This is odd. I'm not seeing anyone's drafts. One moment, let me pop into here. Hey everyone, I just paused this for a moment. I'm not seeing anyone's drafts. Maybe I'm not clicking on the right things. Yeah, sorry, people are hey, is anyone hearing me on this? Okay, I just paused the draft. I thought I'd set this to spectate ability, but I'm not seeing anyone's picks, I think.
Has anyone actually selected anything yet? Or I don't know.
I have not.
I haven't. Yeah, same. I haven't made a selection.
Okay, maybe let's try to pick something. Maybe let's see if it works.
Has anyone used the spectating ability on Draftmancer before?
No, I've never.
I have not done that either.
Yeah. Nope.
Huh. Okay. Maybe it only shows the picks that you've chosen.
Yeah, I don't know. I could share the screen if you want, if it's easier, and just have it on mute or whatever.
That's probably fine. I hate doing this, but I thought I'd selected the settings to be available for this, so that's odd. Maybe I
just unpause it and
yeah.
I can
Okay.
pick
Available
and we can see what happened.
if you go into game logs. Are you able to access game logs?
Looks
Spectate mode?
I think so. Everyone just feel free to cover this. Yeah, it looks like
That's where the data is saved.
looks like the logs aren't available just yet, but
So should we make the pick?
yeah, people are picking, so
Okay.
oh, okay, now I'm seeing stuff. Okay, cool. This is a little bit improved. Everyone feel free to keep going. I'll mute myself here. Okay. So I'm looking at Emily Framboise here. Just removing myself from the Discord server. So Framboise starting off with a pretty strong pack here with Mardu Monument being a pretty good card and a great set of Mardu choices in the pool. Hopefully you can see Shock Brigade or maybe Furious Forebear come back around. Zergo, a little bit of a pull into the deck, but not too strong. So it's like a pretty easy Mardu Monument for them. And okay, so getting on to pack 2 here, looks like, and pretty easy Shock Brigade for them. The only other card you could really choose between is Einok Wayfarer, but there's not really much reason to do that when you have a really strong pull into the Mardu aggressive space. With some okay cards to potentially come back. This isn't going to be a typical arena pod where you're just going to be able to force Mardu aggro and get things together. So it's going to be remain to be seen how scrappy this table is going to be for them. And pick 3, another fantastic go wide payoff in teaming Dragonstorm. You don't need dragons to. We are spectating NLA Framboise. They were the sort of seed 1 of the draft, with I believe over about 80 trophies, best of 3 for the set, which is a really unprecedented number. Yeah, the hits just keep coming. Zergo's Vanguard, one of the best payoffs for this archetype. It's kind of a good card on its own, but with the ability to make multiple tokens off Shock Brigade, Mardu Monument, and Dragonstorm, just the curve of that is just like an incredibly strong start for NLA Framboise. So as long as they can keep the lane open, they're going to have a really strong pack here. And it's not like there's bad cards in the rest of the colors here. There's Snakeskin Veil and Monday Whisper is a really good space for the teamer players. So if people have opened some teamer rares, they're going to be able to start in that space and keep getting rewarded. I see some things in the top right popping up there with people's pick choices, and we have stuff like seeing some good rares, Shiko. Stuff like that. It's almost a storybook moment here, getting a rare land for the white space, able to just make tokens on attacks. Incredibly strong ability for just 4 mana, and hopefully Framboise can wield this Reigning Victor. There's been like 3 Tempest Hawks in this pack so far, and that's not a terrible card in a scrappy pod like this. So maybe they'll be forced to play some Tempest Hawks, things like that. It's evasive, it helps you get in with these Delcoven encampments. En la framboise. Okay, that's probably sounds a little bit better. I'll try and see if I can make sure that's done correctly. I'm gonna just jump over to the other side of the table and see what other people are going with. So this is our other side of things, Cooper, and they are representing MTGO in our draft here with about they said about 30 trophies over the whole set, which is pretty strong in that competitive environment. All league play over there. They first picked Shiko Paragon of the Way, and they are going to be playing that Shiko, let's put it that way, with all these dual lands in the pod so far, and now they're trying to pick up this Tempest Hawk, it looks like. It's going to be interesting to see how Cooper and La Framboise fit both of their decks together. Going back to Framboise here, we have Twin Bolt out of a pretty unexciting pack. So they've managed to cling on to this Mardu start for some time, and now grabbing the Rebellious Strike is a really, really good pickup to see. So if the wheel can survive here, this will be their 8th pick coming up. They're going to have to hope to get at least 1 or 2 other red-white cards from the rest of the table, but people are going to be very well aware that red-white is a deck to beat, and they may start hate drafting that. Yeah, I see you, the people snapping up the Zergos. If there's maybe more than one other red-white aggro player at the table, that is a very serious sign. And people could, not that they're going to wind up with bad decks themselves, but they are going to wind up with more contested decks, and that's really the only person who's going to be happy with that is the other players of the pod, because they are going to be feasting on the teamer space. Howard Tactician's not a bad card, especially in these archetypes with the double mobilize tokens that you can sacrifice to draw cards. Just the mana is going to be very difficult. The number 1 card that Framboise wants to see here is going to be Mardu Devotee, but they're definitely not making it around the table here. If they got those in pack 2, pick 1, that probably would be the choice, unless there's something just clearly much better. And yeah, this is where the picks start to get a lot more scrappy. Summon Intimidator, not really a card that any deck is interested in playing. This is where you have to start including these kind of things and stuff like that. I'm a little surprised personally that they wouldn't have taken the Wild Ride. That can be a lot of, you put this Wild Ride on a Hasty Flyer, Tempest Hawk, things like that. That's 5 damage out of nowhere. But I won't question them. They're cooking something up. Fire Inform, yeah, that's a card. It's not terrible. It can buff up your creatures. People are gonna have to block Shock Brigade at one point with that menace. We're getting around in the last couple slops of the pack, and they've got a pretty promising start here. I mean, it's having not seen anything else. It's definitely a very strong opening red-white deck. How many payoffs can they get in the rest of the pack? That's where the questions are going to come through. So I'll swap back in with Cooper over here. Starting with Shiko, bunch of dual lands, and looks like they are potentially getting hooked up with this Jeskai start here. Unending Whisper, great choice for these decks. Emerald Sentinel helps going to play their lands. Dragonstorm Forecaster, it's great speculation. Now with Roamer's Routine, try to play in this multicolor madness type deck. Dragonstorm Forecaster, if they can get a globe, they definitely have something cooking here. And yeah, there we go. Multicolored dragons. That's going to be the move here for them. Yeah, I like their start. The last couple packs, Framboise, yeah, Rashasha and Starry-Eyed Skyrider. That's not that bad of a pickup for them. So I'm going to try and take a look at. Oh man, this is a bit of a disaster. Oh man, this is a rather unfortunate. I would have liked to see everyone else's picks here, but it seems that that's not actually possible, and that's really unfortunate with this the spectate mode. Maybe it's just an other, yeah, because this says it's my review phase rather than everyone else's. So I'm gonna loop through the entire table once everybody. Yeah, I'm really surprised that it's not possible. Maybe it's some options that I'm not used to, but on pack 2, I mean, the opens are not gonna have too much to talk about, so I'm just gonna go through the whole table and see what people are brewing together. Yeah, so it looks like the unfortunate thing with Draftmancer is that it is not actually showing you live picks. It's showing you the data of what's been recorded by people once they've made the choice. So I can't see what they're choosing between, but I can look at what they have when everyone's taken a card. So it's like once everyone takes a pick, then I'll be able to see things, because that's about what it was before. It's a bit of a lag on what's available at the table, I think. Well, Dragonback Assault, that's a strong card. Yeah, there should be some strong ones. I really, yeah, love to review everyone else's cards here, but I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I'm wary of trying to click on anything. set these Twitch. Erase these Twitch bots while I can. Wow, this is pretty unfortunate. I have to apologize to people that I've now just completely lost the ability to see what anyone else is doing. I'm going to see if I can spectate this. I think myself being muted in this Discord thing is going to be fine. If anyone in the Discord chat is hearing me, send me a chat. I don't want to reveal any information, things. So Gold Slime, Nequam, other end of the table here. I'm guessing they probably went into this kind of deck skeleton pretty early. And it looks like they will be pretty rewarded for their lane here. A lot of interesting cards in the mix here. Wow, yeah, it's pretty late Armament Dragon for this archetype that they're going to slot right in there. Definitely an extremely strong deck that they were putting together. Yeah, it just keeps going with them. Very strong cards here, if anything. Just the problem might be a little bit of a lack of removal from their deck, but that's just going to be dependent on the table at large. so we have this 90-second review phase, and yeah, once again, as the session owner, it looks like I'm also been stuck in this review phase, and I just can't get out of it. That seems to be what's going on here. Yeah, that's pretty irritating for this stuff to go through. I really do apologize to everyone. So it looks as though we will be spectating Gold Slime for the rest of this draft. No other way around it, really. Yeah, so players here are a wide representation of everyone from Limited Level Up's Discord. Enla Framboise is one of the most devoted grinders we have on this. They've racked up about 80 trophies in best of 3 on MTG Arena. Pretty much everyone on here is a top mythic drafter, getting into the really high rankings of the mythic leaderboard. There's a mix of best and 1 and best of 3 drafters from everyone, and pretty much everybody in here has contributed a lot to MTG strategy in the Discord, things like that. So unable to see the rest of people's the tables decks here, but from what I can see of Niquam's deck that they have here, they really just have a nice beatdown deck. We've seen already, we know that 2 players are playing the sort of Mardu aggro mechanics, things like that. So it's going to be a challenge for any value decks to be able to stave off the aggressive rushdown that everyone else is going to be going through. The issue that probably a lot of the table is going to experience is that there's not going to be a lot of removal at the rest of the table. Like you see here, Holtzheim's pretty in this open lane here, but they've only got really aggressive negotiations, knock maneuver, and Salt Road Skirmish for interaction, as it seems. It's just going to be dependent on the table. So as the pairings are going to be randomized here going through, but the question of being able to draw out enough of your interaction and threats to deal with the opposing aggressive beatdown plan is going to be the challenge for all the players here. Yeah. Probably the strongest decks that that people here would consider to be the 2 strongest kind of archetypes are going to be like the Jeskai Teamer, rares, dragons, ramps, space. Blue just having really accessible card draw and counter spells available the entire time. The kind of 2 ends of the spectrum from the draft perspective are going to be the Boros / Mardu aggressive cards and the go over the top dragon archetypes, things like that. I would say that pretty much every archetype can be quite strong if it's open. This set of Abzan counter space is probably considered one of the more weaker archetypes, just because it has a hard time going over a lot of the big rares, things like that. Gold Slime here is a completely open lane, so they're really getting rewarded with stuff like that. Like Saga Wildling is just an incredible anti-aggro card that's going to be able to gain them life when it comes in. And this is where deep format knowledge comes in. Like if you don't know how to draft this kind of Abzan space deck and really navigate it well, you're not going to be able to have a long-term success in a really competitive pod environment like this. I try not to trying to say that anyone is it takes a really high IQ to be able to play this kind of deck. I mean, you see here taking Delta Bloodflies over Inuk Wayfarer potentially, just because it has some really good effective combos. Inuk Wayfarer is a card that pretty much everybody would be snap picking into their teamer decks, but in a restricted pod environment like this, you really want to have all of your synergies going at 100%. And we've kind of been joking that blood flies into aggressive negotiations is kind of an unbeatable start a couple times among people out here. So the meta plays stuff like that is Boros aggro, these really strong aggressive decks that come out the gate swinging. But this is something I'm really happy with, that potentially Gold Slime probably open to Rival of the Ancestors to get into this draft, and they just have the enough experience to be able to just play this kind of deck just right from the start, and really explore the more underutilized space we have here. I know that don't have full insight into everyone else, given Draftmancer locking me in this review mode, but I know that Cooper has a Shiko in there and trying to play blue, and that La Framboise has a really strong red-white aggro start. So those are going to be what we're thinking of. I'm going to guess that I believe somebody opened a Ashki Dragonclaw. Oh, yeah. Good question, Sus. So the general strategy that people are going to have is try and take a really strong, powerful card to start with. If you can start with a deck with a rare or a really high-powered uncommon, that's great. And if you can follow it up with a card that's in the same color, that's really even better. Everyone that's playing here knows that they are in a very contested pod, so the tension between locking in on your colors and staying open to another lane is much more punishing here. The fact that everyone at this table knows what the strong cards are going to be, they're not going to just let, for example, they're not going to let a Mardu Devotee go around the table just because. Even if they're playing a blue-black deck, they're not going to let strong cards pass out of their sight. So probably within the first 3 or 4 picks, everyone at this table is really going to want to have their colors locked in. Now, there's not always situations in which that will be possible, but the risk of not having every card in your deck be a C is quite a worry at a table like this. So a lot of that is riding on the open stuff. So if I'm going to speed the card of the picks, then generally opening strong cards and trying to figure out what lane you're in is the sort of move. Like just the removal pick, the strategic betrayal there, very very important. Generally on the ladder or on arena, people would be sort of more meandering on what colors they would be playing. There's no reason why you can't dirtle around and splash an Armament Dragon in a blue-green deck, things like that. But in a contested pod like this, people are really going to try and lock in real fast. I don't think so, Galaxia. I'm still the session owner, but it seems like this review period that I've enabled for all the players has just locked me in here. Yeah, Formation Breaker is a great payoff for this archetype because pretty much no other deck is going to kind of want that information. Okay, let me just leave the stream so I can try and start this tournament. And get back over to, let's see if I can scroll up here into the draft. just a moment. Let me shuffle this over to there. Hey everyone. If people want to just react to my last message in the chat on whether they're ready to go, things like that, I'll tell things. But otherwise, I'll give people about 10 minutes to put the decks together, things like that. Okay. This game logs. Let me see if I can generate a tournament bracket for this.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Let me see if I can just things here. Voice output. Cool, I can just volume there. Well, welcome everyone. This is going to be my co-commentator CryoGyro from also from the Limited Level Ups Discord. We just went through the draft. Wasn't able to get everyone's visibility, things like that. I'm going to try and see if I can go through people's decks and things like that. That's quite true. I'm going to need to 3-round Swiss. Whoops. Okay, that's got that. Generated into that. Okay, so thank you very much, Sus, for helping me through that bracket. Okay, I'm going to say that... Let me just send you the session ID if I don't know if you're able to see any logs, things like that in there. Okay, 1, 2. 4, 5.
Game logs. There's any way to just look at the deck first, or do I have to download them?
I'm not entirely certain. Are you able to look at them at the moment? I think you have to
click review.
review.
I'm just looking at my own Draftmancer logs. Oh, where do I look for this? Oh, I'm in the room right now.
Yeah, I see you. I see you there as well. I know that there is somewhere to. Maybe it's in the. Man, this is so. Text file logs and click up player.
There's some like log file you posted in the thread there. Maybe I can open that.
Okay, I see. Now I can see the logs here.
On your stream right now.
And I want to complete. I would love to. Partial. The complete log is locked until you share it.
You send me the log. I see there's a button for like import game log.
Yeah, that might be it. Just a moment. Yeah, so if I download these logs, yes, I would like to game logs review. I can't download them unless I share with a session ID. I don't really want to do that until everyone is completed. Yeah, it's unfortunate that I just am probably not able to review the session logs until
You just send me
that.
you screenshot. You can screenshot the two decks of like whatever game we're watching and send them to me.
I don't even think I have those. Like
Oh, geez, okay.
yeah, I can't see the. Oh shoot. I just hit share the session log with people. Game logs.
Oh, I see it.
You do? Okay.
Yep, I've got the decks.
Okay, so
But it looks like they're not the finalized deck lists.
yeah, so okay, that's great. Step 4 is okay, cool. Yeah, it looks like we only have. Oh man, this is more columns, please. Yeah, 7 columns would be just really fine. So we don't have the final deck lists. I have a screen share of La Framboise. Cryo, if you're able to join one of what I did is I muted and deafened my Discord settings, and then the first match is going to be Law versus Cooper. So if you want to grab a Cooper's, if you want to, one of us can just keep swapping between these and like see the other players' decks, things like that.
Okay, I guess I'll watch from Cooper's perspective then.
Yeah, and I can go back and forth so that the stream also sees that stuff up when they get the chance. Yeah, so Cooper has what looks like a
Let me grab a screen grab of this. No, there's a pop-up in the way.
and that is a framboise. So looks like Framboise has put together a pretty... Oh, cool. Now we can see the mushrooms as well. So La Framboise has a pretty straightforward Mardu aggro deck here, with really strong start. They got a couple of Shock Brigades, Zergo's Vanguard, and looks like they got rewarded with a Sonic Shrieker, Inevitable Defeat, really strong cards in that archetype. Cooper, I know, started with a Shiko Paragon of the Way, the 5-mana chess guy.
Up on like a base Sultai 5-color deck, splashing weight for Shiko and a Sonic Shrieker.
Yeah, their first pick was Shiko, and their next 4 picks after that were all those lands on the far left. So they were really banking on the ability to play the Shiko and try and play with all these colors, and it looks like it's paying off so far. They have enough power on the top end, especially with a...
Oh wow, they're even 18 lands. Interesting.
Okay, let me see if I can adjust the volumes here for everyone. Just turned up the desktop audio, so my co-host Cryo should be coming in a little bit louder now. Right. That is a pretty strong-looking opening hand for Framboise with 4 lands, all colors available, 2-drop, 3-drop, and a removal spell.
Yeah, and Cooper's got a good one here too. They've got 2 lands and an Einok Wayfarer, Sonic Shrieker, Kintry Severance, Embermouth Sentinel, so their mana's looking pretty good.
Yeah, the problem is going to be dealing with a Shock Brigade on turn 2.
Right. Yeah, it does seem like Cooper's deck is going to have a hard time against a straightforward Mardu curve out.
Bone Karen Butcher now off the top, so it's 2-3-4 curve ready to go. And once the first menace creature comes with a block, Inevitable Defeat will just take it straight out and do a huge life swap in the same way. Thank you for specifying there. Noyatog, seeing things a little bit better now. So ramping to the 4th land here. Did you say they have a Sonic Shrieker in hand?
Yep, and they've got a mountain in hand, so they'll be able to cast it.
So, playing out Zergo's Vanguard here. The problem is that there's no target for the Sonic Shrieker on the board. The life gain in hand will definitely make a difference.
Yeah, and getting cards while they still have like 5 in hand is probably at least somewhat advantageous, even if they've got a bit of a board advantage at the moment. Dealing with the Sonic Shrieker might be... Although they do have an Inevitable Defeat, you said that, right? So,
yes. Presuming they're going to just discard Riling Dawnbreaker. It's either that or Bone Karen Butcher. Could also be Bearer of Glory if they want to just go over the top.
Cooper does have a Right of Renewal in hand, which I don't remember exactly what that card does, but it's like just gets back something from the graveyard dead or 2 things.
Yeah, so it gets back. Yeah, it returns, leave 2 creatures to your hand, and then will shuffle some cards back into your library as well. So they're probably just going to... Oh, interesting, they're going for the blowout here. So they have Inevitable Defeat and a Defibrillating Current in hand.
Oh, just double blocking the Shock Brigade? That seems a little ambitious.
Yeah, with that much mana, I guess they didn't really have a choice.
I think I'd at least try to trade with the Vanguard when it's threatening 4 damage. Stormbrood's a great draw.
Oh, the
Stormbrood, yep, they'll be able to remove something of their choice, and then they can play an Embermouth Sentinel to claw back some board presence here. I guess they've got a few options. They could like accept another taking another hit here to get Riot of Renewal online, but it's probably not worth taking a turn off just to get back a Sonic Trigger. That's not really removing anything once again.
Yeah, 5 damage at this point is just a pretty unpalatable pill to swallow when you're at 12 life.
You can also just double removal with Kintry Severance and Disruptive Stormbrood.
Oh, so
That's what I would do.
Oh, it's the black-green Stormbrood, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, when you have a land advantage like this, just taking out these creatures on board represents so much damage.
I think you just have to try to reset the board here and claw back your late game advantage. Looks like that's what they're going for. They're casting Kintry Severance. And Omen time. Petty Revenge.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty backbreaking.
How's their hand looking over there on the Mardu?
It's all right. So they have a Summit Intimidator, the 4-mana Yeti, to make something unblockable. Right. That represents a huge portion of damage here.
Yeah.
Their next play is... Oh, my mistake. The next play is also the white Vigilance Dragon that grants a team buff. Riling Dawnbreaker.
Yes.
The problem is they are missing their 5th land.
Cooper is setting up a Rite of Renewal here. He's hoping that this 4/4 isn't going to get too out of hand too quickly.
That's half their life taken out right
going
now.
On in hand, really, so they kind of have to do this. Oh, they're just choosing to shuffle some creatures back into their deck? I don't know about that. Just making your Mardu opponent's top decks a little better? That doesn't seem like a great idea.
Yeah, and there they just redrew that Bearer of Glory right now.
So Gurmag Nightwatch just put Shiko on top of Cooper's deck.
So Shiko getting back, it won't be able to get back Kintry Severance is the issue. That's a 6-mana value card.
Ooh, yikes. Yeah, I was like kind of skimming the deck, and I was like, I'm not even sure if Shiko is good here. Although we'll be able to get back like Inoff Whiffer or something, like some other cheap creature.
That was an extremely well, I guess there's not really much choice. Like not even able to chumping one of the tokens.
They should at least be doing that.
You have to be wary of the +3 trick, but it's just like you're gonna lose that situation anyway. So Shiko returns.
Nothing super inspiring. Gonna have to hope that you don't get a land here. Oh, you can always just choose not to and put a counter on it. I think you've got to put a counter on it here. Yeah.
That's okay. That gets them another land. So they have Defibrillating Current in hand, which will deal 4 damage to any creature. Yeah, the attacking tokens do have Death Touch off of the Bone Karen Butcher. And Summit Intimidator is going to be able to make it so that Embermouth Sentinel can't block, if that was their choice. Devoted Duelist off the top, 2-drop haste. This is CryoGyro talking with us as well here.
Best poster you'll see this side of the Discord.
Quite true. So these tokens having Death Touch, this is a really dangerous position.
Full disclosure to the audience, I only played like 3 drafts of this format, though I am a longtime player, so I'm not going to know like what every card does off the top of my head, so stuff like the token's going to have death touch is kind of news to me.
That's something as well that I don't really think of. Bone Karen Butcher is not a card that really sees much play. It's just kind of too
Right,
expensive.
Just like too much work for like a kind of nominal effect in a lot of board states.
Pretty much. Cycling the card there. What was the draw off the Fear of Deathgorger?
Just a land.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
They've got a forest and a windscarred crag.
That one life, that can make the difference.
Just drew Kishla Trawlers.
So they'll be able to rebuy another spell out of the graveyard, but is there... I guess they can get the, like, the Kintree Severance in that case?
Potentially, yeah. I say Cooper is looking a lot better than they did a couple turns ago.
So they have this
They're holding on.
defibrillating current in hand. They can use it to remove the Gurmag Night Watch. That'll be the second spell, go down to 4. That might just seal it.
And Cooper's conceding the game, huh? Or
Yeah,
at least-
I think that's just seals it.
Yeah. Just too many creatures. I was holding good game for like in anticipation of attack all or some interaction here.
I think they're just trying to double check the math multiple times.
Yeah.
That was
Nothing
real
more
tight.
embarrassing than missing lethal from an attack all. Although in this situation it would hardly be have deadly consequences.
Yeah, so I mean, really strong showing from La Framboise's deck here. Looking through the sideboard, it's kind of puzzled on on what to expect here. I think one of their best plays they could bring in is probably the I forget its name, but it's a 3-mana 1/3 flyer that grants your tokens flying. Starry-Eyed Skyrider.
Meanwhile, I'm seeing Cooper bring in a Teamer Devotee and something else I missed. Scavenger Regent. Which one is that?
So that is the board wipe. Gives for X black will
That was
give.
probably already in the deck then.
Oh yeah.
Cooper's stream is like very choppy, so I'm not like able to super follow what's going on.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, they did say that their computer was a little laggy. Let me see if I can pick up anything. Yeah, it's looking pretty good for me. So.
Oh, are there messages in? Okay, no.
Yeah, this is interesting. They don't really have too many defensive plays that they have the ability to bring in. Maybe like a Nightbland Brigade, the 1/3 Death Touch, but it's that's not really their primary colors.
Looks like they cut their Feral Deathgorger. Kind of, I could go either way on that. Like I understand like it's an expensive creature that kind of is dependent on having other creatures, but still like making like one of your early creatures a little better at blocking, something like a 9-Ock Wayfarer could be useful.
That's definitely a potential. I think it's just realistically any card being available to them is going to be strong. Like even if it's like difficult to block, I don't think you necessarily need to have profitable blocks. You just need to have any blocks at all. And it's an off color. I think they only have about 4 or 5 sources of black.
All right, we've got a reasonable hand from Cooper here. Teamer Monument, Attuned Hunter, Encroaching Dragonstorm, and Disruptive Stormbrood. No forest, but we can grab one with the Teamer Monument, which is probably what they're about to do here.
Yeah, so grabbing it. So La Framboise has 3 lands, red and black, a Shock Brigade, Shocking Sharpshooter, the 1/3 2-drop that deals damage when other creatures enter. They summon Intimidator Yeti and Defibrillating Current and Reigning Victor.
That sounds like a darn good hand to me.
It's pretty. It's pretty good set of damage that's going to be coming through, but Disruptive Stormbird probably just going to. Okay, able to want to deploy their creatures first. Yeah, so Poise Practitioner off the top, 3-drop, 2 white. You're not going to be playing that for some time. Sus opening in Twitch chat talking about trouble playing the Mardu cards on curve every time. That is the reality that Framboise has accepted, and yeah, they're not going to be able to play all their cards this time.
That message does have a bit of like, oh, you know, aggro takes no skill energy to me, and like even if they're being a little sarcastic, like
Yeah, it's definitely.
I don't know, like give the plays a bit more respect, you know.
Yeah,
I
they've
know Mardu curve out is like kind of like the scourge of the format or whatever.
they've definitely. Oh wow, yeah, planes off the top. It's pretty good for them. They've definitely built their decks to be as consistent as they can. In a pod draft like this, you're not going to have all the dual lands and Mardu devotees that you're going to wish for, but they're still going to try their best.
Yeah, so unfortunately for Cooper here, they've got a lot of lands, but not a lot to do with it. They have this disruptive Stormroot here and the Teamer Monument activation, but that's about all the power they have going on. They've also got a couple lands, Romer's Routine, and now they just drew Embermouth Sentinel.
Yeah, I'd say that
typical ramp deck problems here.
Yeah, cracking the Monument here just looks like a pretty nice play. Framboise doesn't really have any answer of dealing with it. You can play Defibrillating Current and potentially send in like a Mobilize token. But other than that, this is just going to deal 2 damage. Oh, gain that indestructible. That's well, I should read the cards first. I think that's the right play. Just have to hope that you draw your creatures here.
Cooper's next draw is a Quarry Mountain Monastery. They're kind of going nowhere fast with these draws. They can remove something with Stormbrood, and that's what they're going for here.
Surprised taking that off over the Shock Brigade, but I guess, well, with Reigning Victor every turn, that means you're going to...
Sharpshooter is way more explosive. I know. I remember one game they like went that into the 0/4 Vigilance Mobilize 3.
Yeah, just
like, oh my goodness.
Free lightning strike to the face every game. So just a land, but Poised Practitioner will be picking up a counter off the second spell.
Now we got a Poised Practitioner Believer here, huh?
Hey, it's if you can play it in this exact situation and double spell on turn 6, it's looking mighty pretty. Other than that, it's not really that impressive.
I mean, I was seeing some like advocation for it from some like, you know, people doing write-ups for Boros or whatever.
Yeah, Beers SC.
It doesn't make sense to me. Like, you just look at that card. It's like you only need 1 trigger before it is like above rate.
Yeah, when
so it's one of those like kind of dinky looking cards that's like, well, if you just build your deck right and like kind of keep your curve cheap, then you can make it pretty effective. Reminds me of like some of the discourse I've seen around the Final Fantasy previews.
I love this attack.
Well, because it's everything possible.
Well, yeah, because it's the easiest play to make. I mean, that's just, you got to believe in your deck. You've got the ability to close stuff out. Got to hope that they're not going to drop a stabilizer.
Yeah, I think Kuber might just be like succumbing to one of the biggest traps these 5-color decks can fall into, where it's like you built around enabling like a handful of powerful 3-color cards, but if you don't draw them, then like you're not really accomplishing much.
Yeah, I don't think that their pack 1 was particularly impressive for them. They really had to just pick up lands and some
kind of more
blue
victim
cards.
of circumstance than strategy here.
Yeah, I think so. They're really against an aggro start like this. Cooper's really just hoping that they can draw their Roar of the Endless Song or Shock Brigade. But even that, not Shock Brigade, Sonic Shrieker. But even then, just these cards are just big enough that it doesn't matter. Ooh, Is that exiled permanently? Now that it can't be played this turn? Oh no, Shiko's able to be cast until the next turn. That's a big, big play. Looks like they can get back the attuned hunter in that case. Huh. Oh no, Temur Monument.
Yeah. Decent.
Yeah, they haven't made their land drop for the turn, so that's just another solid body. I'm kind of struggling to think of top decks that are going to go Framboise's way here. Ooh, Fire Rim form actually could have been one of them. So it's the 2-drop flash enchantment, which will grant something first strike for just for the turn. That'll enable you to trade with Shiko. Or one of
5
these.
toughness is like the critical threshold against this deck, right? And Cooper's now sitting on like 3 of them. Oh, and there is a Roar of Endless Song off the top.
Oh, that is a
Yeah, it looks like this game's gonna turn around fast.
that is a very powerful. Ooh, this could be. Well, they could walk into this trick. And I'm just going to take it wisely for now. You don't need to make any risks here. I think that pretty much the only way for Framboise, I mean, there's probably multiple ways, but I think one of the only ways they're going to be able to get out of this is if they get Sonic Shrieker off the top and then are able to have no other flyers come down from Cooper.
I haven't seen this many elephants since Pregnant Quintorius was the hottest meme around here.
Yeah. Yeah, Quint can stay exiled in the depths of Ixalan. No need to see any of that anymore. Just drawing another card here. Ooh, that is a disaster for Framboise, that is.
Yeah, it's very... This board's gonna crumble real soon. Four fours meet 5/5s. Oh yeah, I guess the Death Touch is now gonna... Even the odds may be a little, although you can just trade your Wayfarer for the... Or do you just ignore the token? Probably not. That just leaves you too open to stuff going very wrong with the errant +3/+0 or whatever.
Yeah, so Poise Practitioner will go to 6 power and 5 toughness, so it will trade here. There's no way of saving Shock Brigade, so yeah, that's just has to take the concession there. They're just gonna have way too much power on board to be able to muscle through.
Well, I guess I'm eating crow about my remark on 5-color decks kind of flying by the seat of their top decks.
Hey, if only the top 3 cards of your deck matter, then indeed that is what you're gonna play with.
We see Cooper putting in Watcher of the Wayside. That's an interesting one.
Just for the life
That's the
gain,
1/5,
probably.
Graveyard. Oh wait, no, that's the 1/3 that's the 3/2 that mills 2 gains 2.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a pretty good inclusion.
Yeah, especially with the fact that so many of the creatures there that Framboise is playing out here have 3 toughness. It's just a solid way of dealing with them.
Also, I think there's a Crotic Nest Guard in their deck. They're siding out Kishla Trawlers.
Yeah, not too many powerful spells to get back. Like no Molten Exhales, just probably the best one. So it looks like Framboise took out Defibrillating Current as just one of their worst removal spells they have, and just that they want to play more threats.
And it looks like Cooper's last cut is going to be that. What's it? Oh, it got too small for me to read, but it's the harmonized 3-mana grab a land.
Yeah, the whatever that one
Rumor's
is.
Routine.
Yeah,
or
Rumor's
something.
Routine. That's it.
Yeah.
With teaming
sense.
Dragonstorm in your deck already, I mean, it's like you really just want any creature on the board.
Board presence. Fine. You need to survive to draw your lands, not dedicate mana to getting those lands a little sooner.
Cooper's very happy just waiting until turn 12, 13 to have their lands in play. All comes down to that opening hand. Framboise on the play. 3 lands and 3-drop, 2 4-drops, and inevitable defeat. Not a dream start.
My Cooper's hand to come up here. Not. It's okay. 4 lands, mana for all of them, Dispelling Exhale, Disruptive Stormbrood, and Embermouth Sentinel.
That looks like sounds like a pretty strong hand.
Yeah.
Just another
Hopefully they're
land.
going to be able to sneak a 2-drop for this Exhale.
Yeah, so
Well, we've got Stormbrood to cover any issues. Oh, all tap lands over there. We're looking pretty good. Passing, holding up Exhale.
yeah, this just
They
getting
got
instantly
3-drop into
countered.
this. I mean, yeah, you're committed to. Although they could just wait and try to Stormbrood it. They just drew their second Stormbrood here. The question is, like, yeah, there's like the thing you have to worry is like, are you ever gonna have time to hold up Exhale again? It's like they think so, and now they just drew a Watcher of the Wayside to make use of this 3 mana here. They're just continuing to pass and hold up their interaction.
Yeah,
Fair
taking
enough, they've got a fair few scary 4-drops over there, right?
they do, yes. Teaming Dragonstorm and Bone Karen Butcher are all potentials here, but Framboise may just excellent play to just not do anything, realizing that they definitely have a Dispelling Exhale in the hand.
Yeah, like you're winning on board. You're not really obligated to commit more when it's so telegraphed.
So Framboise has the opportunity to cycle Rebellious Strike here. They elect not to.
All right, so at this point, I think it's now like abundantly clear that to the opponent that Cooper has Dispelling Exhale here. Unfortunately, Marty Monument is going to be pretty darn good, although they'll be able to play their second Disruptive Stormbrood and destroy that before it makes a bunch of tokens.
Yeah, so now seeming that they didn't counter that, they're like, well, maybe they don't have a, maybe it's something else that they just have or whatever. But this should be countered.
Yeah, it's now or never for using an Exhale, I feel.
And revealing the Stormbrood, yeah, that's a brutal feeling.
They didn't even have to do that, actually, right?
Technically, no. But why not go for the extra mental damage?
True. It is the Destructive Stormbrood. Yeah, we're like... Both players have like fully developed their mana, and Framboise hasn't really established any pressure, so maybe a little bit of an uphill battle from here. Especially since Cooper's got some okay artifact creatures. They'll be able to handle these 2/2s over here, but if there are some dragons lined up, then this Dragonstorm might be able to pull ahead.
I believe the only one in the deck is Sonic Shrieker. Yeah.
Right, they tried out their Dawnbreaker.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, they do have that as well. So they've got 2 of them. Probably playing Bone Karen Butcher here to give tokens lifelink, but yeah, just gonna run into Watcher of the Wayside.
You mean Death Touch? You said lifelink.
Yes, Death Touch. Ooh, that's brutal mill, but
Yikes.
it happens.
And that's why you don't mill, folks.
Everyone knows that milling yourself is always a downside.
Oh, just straight attacking, huh?
So they have a
What have they got in
Rebellious
hand?
Strike in hand. Maybe just trying to snipe the Disruptive Stormbrood, but
In no world do you block with that here. In fact, it's plausible to just take this because you're cracking back for even more. Although without any interaction to get rid of potential blockers, that's probably a little ambitious.
So I guess that's
Quarry Mountain Monastery than Cooper here is going to be a little easier finding action to keep up.
so what's their? They've got 2 lands in hand, and what's the last one?
It's just Quarry Mountain Monastery and the Plains, and now they drew a forest.
Okay, so it was all lands.
Yep.
So probably just Inevitable defeating this elephant and smacking in for a bunch. Yeah, the key. Yeah, the key here was being able to cycle that card, get the Bearer of Glory online, and you're in a real tough position here. So yeah, blocking the token with the 3/3 just probably the minor mistake that leads to things unraveling here.
What's a minor mistake? Sorry.
Blocking the 2/2 token with the 3/3.
I feel like knowing what the opponent is on, like their lack of like adding to the board after you kind of showed your hand with that Dispelling Exhale, a trick is like, I would say more likely than not at that point.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, you just got to attack here. Yeah, it's on the impetus of Framboise to pump their creature once no blocks are declared.
Does that really matter though?
In this situation, not really, but it's just like I don't think there's ever a universe where you chump with this.
Yeah. Yeah, not from 12. Unless you kind of like want to have something so you can cheapen this Unending Whisper a bit, hope to draw something substantial. That's something substantial.
Shiko?
Scavenger Regent. Sorry, I keep forgetting that we're not looking at the same hand.
Yeah, so that'll.
That's the board wipe dragon.
I think you gotta play it here like this. Bear of Glory is, if they draw another land, it's unblockable.
It's interesting because we can hang on for quite a while here and hope they commit more. And like a 4/4 dragon, if they choose to not omen, it's not the most unbeatable thing for Framboise's deck. It's sitting comfy at 25 life, so it's not going to be killing anytime soon. Yeah, so they're just choosing to keep digging for some smaller creatures just to hold on here.
So Shiko being lost there hurts, but you'll have the life gain.
You still have that Gift of Renewal card.
Yeah.
Let me go like read the freaking card. That's how you know I'm a ascended Magic player.
Surveil over here is looking pretty nice.
Two target permanents. Oh my god, they could also just get back Roar of Endless Song with that.
Yeah, now Bearer of Glory really can't attack.
Yeah, it looks like Cooper is turning the corner here.
Yeah, really massive draw on that Quarry Mountain Monastery or Exhale to be able to deploy 2 creatures that turn. Ooh, that's
Never even realized that was in the deck, huh? That's pretty good.
Because this turn, your Bearer of Glory is just erased. Gonna be at 13.
Now we're just playing out the Regent. Yeah, fair enough. We're ahead enough on board that we can handle them playing a creature or two. Especially with this Dragonborn Relic ready to Lightning Helix something.
And one of the best reasons to not attack there, drawing Summit Intimidator, but you got to pay life to target the Regent. Then, once again, the Bear of Glory is still just not getting in. Yeah, 4/4 life-linking Dragon coming in is just going to seal the deal.
There's another land for Cooper here. Opulent Palace, the Sultai land. Oh my god, it's a 4/4? I thought it was a 3/3.
Yeah, it's the card is a monster.
What is this, some kind of Dragonstorm? That's a Dragon Song, harmonizing to draw an extra card. It's just a Chrono Connect card, not a big deal.
That's, in this position, that's kind of a
Oh
threat.
yeah, you're pretty free to activate it, so... Judge the Nightblade Brigade. It's not like an unassuming looking card, but
2 damage a turn, and you kind of have to trade a real creature for it.
oh, and there's a Sonic Shrieker.
Another 2 life back in. Yeah, that's just the life gain is what is making the difference here, enabling Cooper to make their plays. Problem is that there's not really a way to beat Sonic Shrieker and Scavenger Regent, and then this is just too much damage coming through.
Oh man, they have so many lands. I was like, oh, they're playing out the Nest Guard over the Shrieker, but nope, they had 4 or 5 more lands. Oh man, and after the damage was marked, yikes.
Yeah, there's really just no sequence there that'll work things out, because you've got to deal. You gain a lot of life here. Okay, I'm speaking a little bit too soon because now you get the.
Oh wow, they had
Dragonstorm
that
back.
in their deck the whole time. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, it was marked as the
Like
2
comeback
mana
happens.
spell.
That's how it starts. Ooh, but corroding Dragonstorm.
I-
I'm gonna put some pressure back on them.
I can't-
Big Us to Nord, another threat.
I can't believe this. Cooper is over their starting life total.
Just milling Wayfarer and a land. It's looking for that right of renewal, I figure.
Yeah, they've only got
Perfect
4.
Stormbrood off that.
They've only got 4 cards left. That's not a lot of cards.
Hmm. Yeah, I think you just gotta get real aggressive here and just get rid of that Stormbrood. I'd kill him. Although right of renewal, once they get right of renewal, they're gonna have 4 cards back in their deck, so they're probably doing fine anyway.
Well, watch out for that Mardu Mill effect.
Oh yeah, that bomb rare where it's whenever you mobilize a token, each opponent mills a card.
So many cards.
thing. 50 bucks in Commander, by the way.
They're destroying the market every time. So they play another dragon out here, get the Dragonstorm back to their hand. Yeah. So you're at virtual 6 life with Chrotic Nestguard being unlockable. Just a land. Yeah, that's going to seal it up. That was a pretty good showcase of some of the format having to offer. I really thought that Framboise had this game locked up multiple times, and just the strength of your top decks, the soup deck comes back.
Yeah. To be fair, like they did have like a couple Well, I guess that second game was like pretty fair for both sides. That third game definitely wasn't a great opener, reliant on tap lands, which is probably an argue like what Sus was saying earlier about how the consequences of going heavy on like specifically Mardu cards in your proactive deck.
Yeah,
Trying
you
to play all
do
those
have to
tap
make
lands.
some sacrifices. Okay, let me put in my information into the tournament bracket. Okay, everyone's got that. That is 2-1 to Cooper. Okay, very good. Let's decide our next match on stream. Yeah, I think we're going to have Nequam versus Lark, because we haven't seen either of those players yet. Okay. Let me see if I can grab these players' decks. Nequam versus Lark. You come here with a Abzan deck. Pretty nice open lane.
Ooh, okay. Should I be? Oh, let me see what you're looking at here.
And Lark is a oh boy, yeah. So I saw somebody pick up Eshki Dragonclaw as pick 1, and that is what they've got.
Straightforward teamer from what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I will take Gold Slime.
Gold slime.
Yeah, I'll take theirs. So I saw a little bit of their picks. I think they really just started with Revival of the Ancestors and had a really open Abzan lane with everybody fighting over Mardu and Teamer rares. That this just was totally open for them. Not a lot of removal, but they got 2 Delta Bloodflies.
Oh, I was
yeah.
hoping we get to see some Bloodflies action.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, just noticing here that Lark also has Dragonback Assault in their deck. The 6 mana deal, what is it, 3 damage to all creatures?
Yep, and then landfall, make a dragon.
Yeah, that's
That's a win con.
like the okay, so they've got pretty much just those 2 as general win cons, Eshki and Dragonback Assault. This deck is they're dipping a little into some of the lesser used cards, Snowmelt Stags.
I've been seeing some people swear by them in like more proactive stuff. 5 power is a lot of power.
Yeah, I think the key for them is going to be the fact that they have 2 Auroral Processions. They're going to be able to rebuy their bombs hopefully a couple times. Nequam's deck, just Delta Bloodflies, counters, 4 removal spells. So the removal spells are not looking great, but Lark's not really got the best set removal either. Okay.
Yeah, Lark's got a pretty slow start here. Teamer Devotee into Kishla Trawlers, but they do have a Dragonback Assault in hand. All we're looking for is a red source, and we're probably doing good.
Well, the problem is that you're not going to have that.
Wild.
Not going to have that Dragonback Assault for very long because Nequam has Severance Priest in their opener.
Mm.
And
wait, isn't that the destroy a thing and then they like endure? Or like it's some like weird symmetrical white style thing, right?
Yeah, it snipes a card from their hand and then they endure mana value when it's destroyed. So they will get a 6/6 if it's destroyed, but they also have double Snakeskin Veil to back it up.
And this is like the best use case for Severance Priest ever, huh?
I've never seen it do much, but I mean they gotta have to live in fear of the counterspell, but with no other action in hand. You can wait for them to.
Lark just drew Eshki Dragonclaw.
This is so brutal. If they have any land, that's just completely playable.
Oh, right, the devotee is the fixing. Oh my god. That's like Tarkir 101. What am I doing?
I bet they're killing themselves over not banishing Dashki, but they're gonna see the other rare in hand.
The priest. Well, from one bomb to another. Oh man, Boulderborn Dragon. I better do that.
Yeah, hey, that's a flying eye. I can't block that.
It's basically Jeskai Dragon. Am I right?
So unless they drew a non-land, the Severance Priest is gonna have knockout maneuver to kill Ashki, and then Snake's gonna be able to back it up with the trick. So
Yeah, so Lark just drew Rakshasa's Bargain here. So they'll be able to dig for something to deal with this priest at least. But
so
they're not going to be able to add to their board here.
is that a swamp in hand or Evolving Wilds?
Wilds?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's totally fair to attack Hero. They probably never trade anyway because
Oh, no
they
way.
get a freaking 6/6 token out of that.
Yeah, that's an Ashki upgrade. The problem is that there is just going to be no way to puff this up. Yeah, so right here you play knockout maneuver. Snake's going to be able to back it up. You have to pay the ward. You have to hope that they don't have a counter spell.
Interesting. Lark moused over the Teamer Devotee there. I wonder why.
You'd be debating trying to show them that maybe
checking
they have
that
an
it adds
exile.
red instead of black for this Rakshasa's Bargain.
Yeah, possibly. Oh, the discipline.
Oh yeah, you just have to think like, is there anything in my opponent's deck that could punish an attack here?
Oh, going for it. All right, balls to the wall.
Like all the players have access to all the deck lists, right?
No, they do not.
Oh, they don't. Okay.
Yeah, they
yeah,
could.
like, if your opponent's like playing a Teamer Devotee in the first place, I think it's probably safe to assume that you're not holding up something that can blow out an attack there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, realistically, in these colors,
Fortunately, they just saw 4 lands there off the Rakshasa's Bargain. They grabbed Island and Forest.
okay,
And they've drawn Duskyat Earth Carver, pretty decent 6-drop here.
So no, yeah, they could have Sarkhan's Resolve +3 would be the biggest one.
Ah.
All right. You set that into a 7/7 probably.
I think that leaves you a little too wide open to some Abzen removal. And yeah, 4/4 can still deal with this priest. Although I guess you risk just them having like some way to put a counter on this in the freaking black-green Abzen deck. So, like, Constrictor Sage off the top, that might allow some offense here. Although I'm not sure they want to go for that.
Yeah, I think if you're a Gold Slime, the only thing that you're thinking of is just you you just got to keep the Severance Priest alive because you cannot allow them to get a 6/6.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Lark is only going to be able to play one thing here, either a small Kishless Trawlers or Boulderborn Dragon. Sure, get some pressure going in the air.
Is there
also think impossible to like Constrictor Stage on the Champion of Doosan and then like attack and put them in the same dilemma of like you probably don't want to block with your priest on the 4/4.
So grabbing aggressive negotiations here.
You
got to take
that priest is going to be even more of a problem, eh? Or you're just going to put it on the champion, yeah. I mean, does that really enable anything? I guess you just want to put it on the counter on the thing you're willing to actually attack with.
Yeah. Got to trade the board presence down somehow.
Yeah, probably just double block the Severance Priest anyway and take your 6/6.
Yeah, I respect this.
It's kind of like getting all the cards out of your opponent's hand with that block. Now Constrictor Sage can realistically do something. Ooh, Auroral Procession. That's a good draw.
Okay, so you grab the the card the Kishla Trawler's discarded off of aggressive negotiations?
Yes.
Oh, you get never mind. You get back Ashki.
Yeah, you
Oh,
just
this
get
is
back
brutal.
SP.
This is brutal.
Best girl in the set.
Yeah, you got the 6/6. I mean, the 6/6.
Oh my
is
god,
just
it still
impossible to do.
counts? Oh, I thought she had to be on the battlefield.
Well, she was on the battlefield. Yeah, she doesn't have to see the spell get cast.
Dragonstorm Globe on the top, gonna mill that. Makes sense. We drew a Teamer 20 back off that.
That's just more pressure, and the Snakeskin Veils are just not going to cut it anymore. Yeah, land double Snakeskin Veil for Niklum. Yeah, you gotta make the attack here. So this is a difficult position. I spoke too soon. These Veils are still gonna be able to pay off.
Wait. You use Snaking Veils for protection? No, they just make your creatures better.
Yeah, like, how are you going to deal with the 7/5? You're kind of going to have to cast another non-creature spell to get Eshki up in range, and...
This is like... this is reminding me a lot of my first draft where I was also a Teamer deck with Eshki, where it's like, sometimes I just look at a big creature and I'm like, I can't deal with that. And this is the eternal blue-green struggle.
Okay, Channel Dragonfire, which is currently uncastable. I think you're still dealing a whole...
Dragonfire seems like a somewhat iffy inclusion in a deck like this, but I don't know the full context here.
Yeah, just as a way to survive. I think just flashing it back is really a challenge, but...
Is the deck really lacking in other things to do early, though?
It
doesn't.
doesn't...
Wayfarer isn't like the most reliable early thing.
Doesn't have the most amount of interaction.
Another Veil, wow.
This is trouble. I think you... Yeah, you grab a Surveil here. You just trade off the... I mean, you can't really trade off the Seventh Priest here because you just replace with a 6/6.
Well, you milled the Rainforest, so that's banned in Pioneer. It's an amazing card. You gotta draw it.
Was that actually the fetch land?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think, the plan here for Lark is just, like, kill them before they kill you, I guess. And I can't let this get through without some toughness in the way of that trampling. This Channel Dragonfire might actually close it out if they find another red source, right? Because that can't target people, right?
It can, yeah. It can go anywhere. But you're at a virtual 2 life, and you're going to have to block Eshki here. I think this is you have no way of preventing yourself from the second tap down off the renewed Constrictor Sage. Yeah, no matter where you put the counter here, you just lose because it just taps stuff down. Yeah, wrapping it up.
You hate to see it.
So they're bringing in another Salt Road Skirmish and an Undergrowth Leopard.
Lark is staring in dismay at the graveyard with 3 Snakeskin Veils in it. Let's see. Yeah, okay, their early game is pretty small. I think Dragonfire is like a reasonable inclusion here. Look at that sideboard. Yeah, not a lot to write home about. There's a Chrotic Nest Guard. Oh, they've got a Trader Envoy in there. This is like not a generically great card, which is why.
Nice big power creature. Yeah, so Gold Slime just took out all 3 Snakeskin Veils.
Nice. Wow. Lark has 2 Glacierwood Sieges in their sideboard. That's a very powerful thing to have in certain matchups, but not this one.
Yeah, not gonna work with all these renew creatures.
All right, they just cut their Dragonstorm globe for something. I missed what? Oh, the Crotokinest guard. Okay.
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, I'm not one to talk about anything, but they're going down on Champions of Doosan, I think.
Interesting.
It just seems like one
I
of your
mean, that
best.
was a bit of an anomaly, like that champion getting to be so big with the raw snakeskin veils, and like otherwise it's just gonna like kind of trade and like still get kind of slightly outscaled by stuff like the Tawny back and other mid game creatures.
But then in that situation, like, what are you trying to bring in? You know, it's like you got to trade with them at
Yeah,
some point.
but yeah, it's kind of like the best thing you can muster, right? 4/2 in those colors or whatever that deck is.
I think you really got to hope you're beaten down. So yeah, they took out all the snakeskin veils and they put in as many 2-drops as they could. And well, they got Sinkhole Surveyor in the opener.
We've got 2 islands, a mountain, a roiling Dragonstorm. So no green. Snakeskin Veil and Knife and Knock Wayfarer stuck in hand, but this roiling Dragonstorm will be able to dig us a bit. Also, Aegis Sculptor and Snowmelt Stag, some kind of shaky 4-drops. Not looking so hot against the turn 2 Sinkhole Surveyor. Good grief.
Yeah, does their deck have any way of killing that? I don't think they do.
Doubt it.
I'm trying to look through everything.
Any.
Yeah, Dragonback Assault.
Dragonback Assault off the top with that Dragonstorm. That's a start.
Yeah, but it's not even gonna matter. The Sinkhole Surveyor is gonna grow too much.
And also, we didn't get a forest out of that, so we're not even gonna like to be able to Wayfarer or anything next turn. Yeah, Lark is looking at discarding the Snakeskin Veil here.
Yeah, with no forest, I mean that's just not gonna hard to win this game. Forest off the top enables him to keep pressure up with Champion of Doosan.
Let's see, go wide or go tall? Go tall. Fair enough.
Yeah, so they've got a Sinkhole Surveyor that's going to kill them in about 3 turns, and if that wasn't enough, the best card in their entire deck, Delta Bloodflies, ready to deploy.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, we'll be able to pick off this Doosan with a Channel Dragonfire here.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, I don't know, maybe is it? Like, it just makes you buff up your other creatures.
I mean, I think the hope here is just to hold on till we can slam this Dragonback Assault and just play a bunch of dragons to deal with this massive Sinkhole Surveyor.
Oh, yeah, you have to. Yeah, top decking Traveling Botanist to get their land drop for next turn.
Does Aegis Sculptor get a card here? They did mill just now. I forget what the condition is for a counter on that thing.
It's at the beginning of your upkeep if you exile 2 cards from your graveyard.
Okay, so it can become a 3/4. Oh, but it has to be a whole turn cycle, right? I forgot that's not a very good card.
Yeah, it is a card of necessity for the most part.
Yeah, so Lark is trying to decide whether to play a tap land here. Oh, that's untapped. Okay. I guess it's choosing what mediocre 4-drop to play here. Sculptor or Snowmelt Stag.
I'd say probably the Stag is the choice. Like, you gotta... Okay, I'm wrong. I would have thought you really gotta end the game.
Just a way to more assuredly deal with this Traveling Botanist, I'm guessing?
Yeah, not with this +1 counter is the only issue.
Ooh.
Yeah, you just buff up the board here, and you kill them in 2 turns. Oh, it's okay, there's a choice.
I think they should play the Bloodflies and really strike fear into their heart.
No, the Bloodflies will be the finishing blow next turn.
When you see their buzzing, it's too late.
Gotta take it. So what is Lark working with here?
We got Snowmelt Stag, 3 lands, and Dragonback Assault. And that's another island off the top. Unfortunately, I think it might be too little too late for this Dragonback Assault in the face of these massive butts.
Not necessarily too much. So it's like Looks like Nikum's best play for this turn is going to be playing 2 creatures out, but they're both going to die to Dragonback Assault.
I think it's just like hope to chump and then go to town with your dragons, right? So just play stag, block with it, see what happens if your opponent is able to punch through them.
There is...
What does Kishlav Village do?
It
I
lets
think
you
it's surveilled,
surveil.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing super helpful in this situation.
I think the sequence here, the only sequence here for Lark that lets them survive is playing out enough big creatures, chumping the Surveyor every turn until they can play Dustiat Earth Carver, the 7/7. That doesn't even work.
Oh, the problem is the botanist has trample now.
Yeah.
So Snowbelt Seg as a 5/2 is not going to be a very good blocker.
It'll be a 2/5 on their turn. On
Oh,
Lark's
right, it's the
turn.
other way around. Oh, yep, got it mixed up. That's pretty good then. Oh, and when this Dragonback Assault starts making these tokens, we're gonna be able to keep getting back Dragonstorm and just dig for more action to really turn the game around.
Okay, this is turning interesting.
Oh, so next turn we'll be able to assault and immediately make a dragon. Nice.
Oh no!
What happened?
Severance Priest.
Yikes. I ship that. They'll find themselves in any game. They'll find each other.
Oh wow, look at this value. Getting the
Me and you,
champion.
we can be a 6/6 together. Do they play it out anticipating the play here? So I think that play that Lark just made is a little eyebrow raising,
Yeah.
right? So, yep.
There we go. And blood flies. Let's go, folks.
What did they mean by that? Okay.
I was rewarded because I had the bomb 2-drop play. Clearly just the better player. That was close.
And now Lark is going to be on the play, hopefully with a bit of a better opening hand than that time.
Yeah, that's so even if you get to play those, if you play a land every turn, you keep making those dragons, you have to permanently keep chumping the scavenger. And you get to draw Dragonstorms. Like that is such an interesting situation if it went down. So once again, Gold Slime's taking out the Champions of Doosan. For Feral Deathgorger, which yeah, I can understand that, just making creatures bigger right away.
Like a decent flyer.
Yeah, the flyer is really gonna
get over all your chunk and recursion.
Yeah, pretty much Lark's only defense against that is the Dustiat Earth Carver and Dragonback Assault, and I think just they're gonna have Dragonback Assault, and that's if they have it, they lose unless you draw Severance Priest, of course.
Oh, it looks like Lark's brought in the Trade Route Envoy now.
Yeah, just a big creature. Good potential to draw a card off of the Einok Wayfarers, and otherwise just trading for any real creature is completely acceptable.
Pretty bad opening hand for Lark here. 3 lands and all 4 drops plus Dustiat Earth Carver.
Pretty bad opening hand for Niquam here. No lands.
So it looks like we're seeing very likely mulligans from both players.
I think that's probably in Niquam's interest for sure. If both people.
Specifically, I've got Island, Kislev Village, Aegis Sculptor, Eshki, Encroaching Dragonstorm, Earth Carver.
Ah, man, that's kind of on the
The
borderline.
upside is high, but it's very reliant on multiple good top decks.
Come on, what 2-drops have we seen out of Niquam's deck? Like Delta Bloodflies?
True. I mean, that's all you need, right?
In this deck, it kind of is, but
Yeah, it's true. Like it is a very yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not scared of no flies.
Well, you're gonna have
I
some
got my
problems here.
aquapellets on.
So we've got forest, swamp after the mulligan, Delta Bloodflies, Sinkhole Surveyor, and Stalwart Successor, the 3-drop signpost.
Yeah, that's that. You gotta ship that.
I think that this hand probably just completely steamrolls them.
Yep. They're. I wouldn't blame Lark for just clicking X once that Sinkhole Surveyor comes down.
You give yourself one turn, and then you realize that Stalwart
Okay,
Successor.
Lark got the mountain. That's a start.
Oh
So
man!
now Eshku is castable.
Oh, you have to. They haven't seen a counterspell yet. Yeah, be brave. No. Oh, they're debating it. That's how you win, baby. That's how you win games. So, Star Wars Successor is not only a menace threat on its own, it's going to double the counters placed on Sinkhole Surveyor.
Yikes. Lark keeps considering emotes.
That's
that bomb.
That's the metagame.
They're like hovering over it. I don't know what the full line of that one is though.
I think it's like that's a nice bomb or something like that.
Okay.
Do they have Dragonback Assault in hand?
No, I don't know why they're doing this exactly. I guess they're just hoping to top deck it
3, 4, 5.
as their only realistic chance.
Yeah, you're still gonna have to deal with the Sinkhole Surveyor, but oh man, like it's just so strong.
Wow, look, guys, the
Thanks.
Seeker best deck has always been right here in Obzon. Clearly, look at this explosive curve, such synergistic curve starting on turn 4. You're looking at turn 4 on the draw.
Okay, so strategic betrayal here is this gonna wrap it up? Just too much power coming through off the Stalwart Successor. And oh come on, they don't play it out. They have Delta Bloodflies in hand. Like, come on, you gotta play Delta Bloodflies.
It's okay. They can buzz around the corpse.
Yeah, pick it up, pick it clean. So Twitch chat, what do you think about that? Was this the result you expected? Teamer bombs were opened.
Obzon better than Teamer confirmed.
It's the facts. Teamer
Better
bombs
than
were opened,
Dragonback Assault.
and Teamer bombs were defeated. All right. Oh, that was great to see. Let me see if anyone else has reported their tournament results. Looks like UUD and Edivor. No, wait, hang on. I'm not sure which brackets are the winners' brackets or not. Okay. Lark, Alfendor, Jim Hyde. See, Alfendor and Cooper are still playing out their games.
Can I take a quick bathroom break?
Absolutely, great idea. Let me see if I can go through some of these logs and see if I can show some stuff here. So, the tournament bracket so far is going to be my mistake. Let's see if I can handle myself here. Okay, I'm just posting. Okay, so Elfendor and Gemhide are the people we are looking for in Game 3. Let's take a look through the game logs of Elfandor here. Picks. Yeah, so picks summary? No, let's check out the picks here. So starting off with a war effort, very strong aggressive card. looks like they were one of the other players drafting Mardu at the table. So picking up War Effort, really not too much else. It's probably definitely the best card here. And then off from that, this is really interesting. I would have probably taken the Teeming Dragonstorm in this spot, but just with War Effort in the pile already, just saying, no, I'm locking in here. This is red-white aggro. I'm taking Fortress Kingguard right away. Two bodies. That's what I'm going for.
All right, I'm back. I was gone if you were thinking you were talking to me.
No. Just talking in general. So I'm
Okay.
looking through the picks on Elfandor's, because they're the only person whose deck we haven't seen yet that is potential to play in these finals. First pick War Effort and Fortress Kingguard right off the bat.
Those sound like some picks where you really know what you're about.
Yeah, they just a War Effort off of a pretty weak pack, and then better cards available in pick 2. If you're able to load it up yourself on the logs, you should be able to. But yeah, they had a choice between Teeming Dragonstorm, the white make 2/2s, and Fortress Kingguard.
Jeez, that I really don't know about that.
I mean, that just shows I'm devoted. I'm 100% in red-white aggro. I'm locking in right away. So like sus.
Like I understand quality 2-drops are like hard to find, but I'm not even sure Kingguard is that good of a 2-drop, right?
With War Effort, both of them are gonna get boosted by it. So
I suppose with War Effort, you do just want to maximize your cheap go wide and not like another 4 mana thing.
yeah, you want War Effort to be like the last thing you play in the game, pretty much.
Okay.
It's like sus opening. You were talking before about players like trying to lock into their lanes like sooner or later. This is an example of going 100% in from the get-go. Just War Effort, Fortress Kingguard, third pick. It's another Fortress Kingguard. Like that's a great sign. Grabbing a Molten Exhale in the next pack, and just nothing of their choice in pick 5.
They want to go back to that pick 3. I'm very surprised at that second Kingguard over Zergo's Vanguard as well. 1-3.
Maybe I haven't read through the Beers SC article on like how to draft Boros, but it might just
like,
be.
I just don't remember like either of them getting particularly strong shoutouts in that in that write up. I just feel like Vanguard is like, you know,
Vanguard's a
pretty
beast.
explosive.
Yeah, it's extremely explosive, but I guess with War Effort, the plan is that you just play, make 8 bodies.
Play all the Kingguards.
Yeah.
I mean, I can respect it.
I just like once you've built up the board, War Effort is basically unbeatable. Whereas Vanguard, if it does get answered, it's easier to answer with all your removals. Then you're worse off than you started. So understandable. I am sort of in agreement with you that I probably would have made different picks, but
But I can also like totally see the logic in like just securing, making your 2-drop slot as quality as humanly possible in the play booster set.
Yeah, agreed. Because 2-drops are really aggressive. 2-drops are not that prevalent in the set. So the more you can pick up that are of any quality is just a good place to start. So grabbing Molten Exhale here, just easy pick here. Really not much. Like there's good cards, but you got to pick up removal. Voldemort Dragon, Reigning Victor. Yeah, nice reward for this Mardu space. I guess Rebellious Strike's probably a better card than Victor, but if you're just taking Boulderborn Dragon in the previous pick, you have to take up Reigning Victor and just be like, no, I need as many creatures as possible.
Wouldn't even. I don't know. Like it's still like. Basically 4. I don't know if like Rescue Leopard is something anyone cares about.
Not in these decks. I think just anything that mobilizes is what you need. Yeah, but Bone Karen Butcher is going to get seen today. And at this point, yeah, you get to the end of pack 1 and you're like, wow, I've got a red-white deck here.
Yeesh! What the? Like I guess the Reigning Victor is a little surprising, but that's all.
Yeah, and just
fine.
Sonic Shrieker is incredibly powerful, but haste on turn 3 is what you want. You are ending the game
I guess
before.
we just like Reigning Victor in this deck as a 4-drop.
Yeah,
it's than, like as a Mardu card.
Yeah, it's just better than Bone Karen Butcher. Just like it makes so you play Tursa turn 3, and then just you play Tursa Light Shatter, and then you play Reigning Victor, making it indestructible. It just pushes so much damage. Static Snare, totally rewarded. So looking at this, like just the cards that were picked up here, I was spectating La Framboise to start, and they had the Shock Brigade and Teeming Dragonstorm to start with. but War Effort is blows out like every other card they have there. So let me just go through the rest of these packs very quickly, because it looks like people are about ready to go. Yeah, having to just take a dual land, passing the scavenger regen. Yeah, so some dual lands, 2-drops. Yeah, this is some cooking deck that you got here. They're just taking as many 2-drops as possible, making sure that when they draw that War Effort, it is going to go off.
Looks like they haven't really been getting juiced in pack 2 though.
Yeah, the ending of pack 2 is a little less than what they expected, but I guess that's, you can sort of recover from that. Yeah, Shock Brigade and a Clarion Conqueror, again, just solid attackers. Frontline Rush, huge reward. And taking a Fortress Kingguard over Sarkon. I've played Sarkon in some decks, but 2 bodies. When they draw War Effort, it's the game's just on a lock. Yeah, that is a very strong looking aggro deck. But it doesn't matter anyway. Wait, okay, we have our final trophy match here is going to be okay, yeah, it's Gemhide versus Nequam, yes.
We're gonna get to see even more Bloodfly action. Oh boy.
Yeah, I love it. I love to see it. Versus Cooper. Yeah, they said they'd take a 5-minute break, and that will be just in a couple moments. We'll get started on this whole thing. Yeah, so maybe I don't think I'll have the strength in me to review the game logs. Well, it's not there aren't any game logs, but maybe people post them. So Alfandor lost against Cooper's deck. So the 5-color multi-splash versus Nequam's Severance Priest.
Whoever wins, we all lose. Ugh.
Okay.
Aggro Kurvat. Ugh. 5-color soup. Ugh.
That's magic, baby. That's the best. That is the best part we are seeing these days. Okay.
Guys want one thing, 2 things, and they're freaking disgusting.
Okay. Cooper's deck over here.
Nequam is back.
Excellent. All right, I've got both decks pulled up on my screen now. Let's get this BREAD. I will join Gold Slime's stream and see what we got going down.
All right, it's Gold Slime versus Cooper, right?
That is correct.
Okay. I see Framboise is streaming right now, so that has me a little confused.
Yeah, I think that's just for other people watching stuff like that. Cooper will take a couple moments, and we'll just be on right back. I'll take a 60-second break to grab some sandwiches myself.
I like the cube there you have. Oh, this is you're watching Gold Slime stream. Never mind.
Yeah, so I don't I don't think either player kind of knows what the other one is cooking up here. I know no one will have gone through the logs, so they might have just picked up on like one or two comments in the draft, being like, what bombs people have, stuff like that. But on that, Niquam is preparing us with a nice beatdown plan here. They're back to their 3 Snakeskin Veils, 3 Champions of Doosan.
I saw Cooper like had a really funny exchange with another person on the arena chat log there. Let's see if I face a Shock Brigade turn 2 for the 3rd time today.
Yeah, I'm loving these. I'm loving these deck names. Discord Pod. Why? Yeah, I'm agreeing with that one. I'm just a lot of cubes.
All right, Chico, are you the paragon of the way to a 3-0 result?
Yeah, they like living by the seat of the pants here with the top decks, and we'll see if they can keep it up. The luck's been on their side so far. So you said you only done a handful of drafts format, but have you wound up playing Abzan at all?
No. Closest I got was a white-black base mid-range, which
Mhm.
I made good use of those 1/3 Death Toucher mobilizes and aggressive negotiations.
Yeah, negotiations had such a glow up from what
Yeah.
people were talking about. Like I think it's like the top 2 black commons by win rates and
Gemhide's got a hand that's just good enough. Pretty awkward overall. No blue source and 2 blue cards, but there's an Inoc Wayfarer on 2 lined up. Shiko and Scavenger Regent already in hand.
So Gold Slime opened up with 3 lands, Snakeskin Veils, Aggressive Negotiations, and the 5-drop Green Dragon. So pretty necessary mulligan. And wound up in hand with 3 lands, Formation Breaker, Severance Priest, Revival of the Ancestors, the Abzan Saga, and lucky enough to draw Sinkhole Surveyor off the top. So that's going to be the question mark for Gemhide to deal with.
Ooh, and just milled Disruptive Stormbreed, which could have dealt with it.
Yeah, that's brutal. Oh man, they don't get to play Severance Priest here because of the necessary the double forest. But I mean, what are you going to complain about that? Like they still get to play Formation Breaker. Revival of the Ancestors coming up.
Gemhide's hand, not looking the most inspiring, but if this game session has been anything to go by, there's always a way.
So they've been able to come from behind before, but that's interesting.
Yeah, so we've got Sonic Shrieker in hand now too. An untapped land will. Oh, not quite. We don't have all 3 untapped mana right now, so it'd have to specifically be an untapped mountain.
So Sinkhole Surveyor will still go to attack here. Yeah, this is the information grain here. So Severance Priest is going to probably take the Sonic Shrieker away.
Yeah. There is a Tranquil Cove in hand, so Shiko is only 1 source away from being castable.
Okay, and
There's
Shiko...
also the whole hand right here.
Shiko will not cast the Disruptive Stormbrood.
Correct.
Because it is not the mana value of the card in the top.
Okay, are you allowed to cast the Omen? I think you might be.
I believe it's cast card with mana value.
Yeah, okay.
Regardless,
that comes up enough. I wonder if there's a ruling on that. Let me look up Shiko right now.
Regardless, nothing on the board is going to, deal with the Sinkhole Surveyor at the moment.
Okay, nothing. Just standard rulings for casting something without paying its mana cost.
So yeah, Sonic Shrieker bops a land out of Gold Slime's hand, but they have Revival of the Ancestors ready to go. Yeah, so the top decks were able to get Gemhide out of this previously, but the problem is just when you have Sinkhole Surveyor, it's just so much damage that comes through.
Yeah.
Like even if you top deck all your best cards, you're gonna have to deal with this this 10/10.
Oh my god, that's been in their deck the whole time? Yikes.
Yeah, just I believe that was their open, and they got the Sinkhole Surveyor later. Because
I mean, if you need convincing on the power of underpowered archetypes when everyone is in the know, then this is this resulting deck is definitely a demonstration of that.
And it's not like there's a particularly large amount of bombs in Equum's deck. It's just the Sinkhole Surveyor that's been on turn 2 and Revival of the Ancestors. Like Severance Priest is not a well performing card.
Right.
They just they've had the ability to back it up with Snakeskin Veil if necessary, but it's no one's had stuff that's been killing it so far.
And also they've just been it's been awesome in matchups where it's like my deck has like a couple great cards and like I've been holding onto them and planning around them, and like the rest of the deck is like kind of just filler to make that stuff happen.
Right.
Which is kind of be a natural consequence of pod play, I suppose, where people are just going to like be snapping up the good cards much faster.
So yeah,
there's not going to be like decks where it's like your opponent has like a bunch of like pretty good stuff, and it's not like, oh, there's just like one card here that's so much above the rest that I'm super happy to be taking that.
So they can get back Whisper here.
Their only option is Stormbrood.
Oh yeah, but
they're choosing to exile a creature card. That's what's going on. Unfortunately, untapped green here instead of blue.
Oh, so that just makes Formation Breaker unblockable for the rest of the game?
It's things with power less can't block it, right?
That is correct. Yeah, make it into a 7/7, and you're taking a whole chunk of damage here. Yeah, okay, I understand the play here. So Nequum could have played Stalwart Successor, which would have increased the counter on the Sinkhole Surveyor this turn. Turn it into a 6/7, but that's still not enough. It would have turned it into a 6/8 this turn, but that's not enough to kill both flying blockers on this next attack. And it just gives the Sonic Shrieker a target. So playing it this way, it lets you preserve the Stalwart Successor until next turn, where the Sinkhole Surveyor does once again turn into a 7/9, and both dragons still can't kill it. And it just keeps the Menace threat on the board.
All we've drawn here is a Dispelling Exhale.
Okay, that is significant, because that means that they're not going to be able to play the Stalwart Successor and keep it up. Oh, he just gained Trample until that turn. Well, that'll just lock things up.
Yikes. Oh, Exhale actually mattered.
So yeah, you have to double block the Sinkhole Surveyor here, and then that's just enough unblockable damage coming in through for the rest of things. Yeah, and Severance Priest is also pretty much unblockable. So
I would say that the best flyer in this pod draft has been not a dragon. The biggest and baddest flyer around. Just one angry vulture.
yeah, the best flyer has been the one that's been able to be in play the most times.
Dragons are good when they're 2-drops, huh?
So yeah, Nikon bringing in the Edict, Strategic Betrayal. One, Exile in the Graveyard, which is big news for these Rim Routines and Harmonized cards. And two, just taking out individually powerful cards. Also bringing in another Salt Road Skirmish as a piece of interaction. Yeah, just taking out the key flyers is going to be what Nikum needs to win this game.
Let's see, 2 Sarkhan's Resolves are coming in. See, Rite of Renewal is coming out. Interesting. I feel like Rite of Renewal is pretty important for grinding through some of these bigger creatures.
Yeah, like Cooper has to guarantee that the game goes
Well, I guess with
long.
Sarkhan's Resolve, you're like planning to keep them alive with tricks or just like removing their flyers directly.
Yeah,
That's what Sarkhan's Resolve on the mode is, right? Destroy target creature with flying?
yeah, any creature with flying, or +3/+3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say I don't think Cooper's deck is very well positioned to go against this absent stuff, because even then, once you deal with all like the key card players, Nikum still has 3 Champions of Doosan and enough
too much
2-drops.
quality all the way down the curve, right?
Yeah. They were pretty much uncontested in their lane the entire time. And
All right, Romer's Routine also coming out. They were looking at their Focus the Mind, which we haven't even seen them cast yet.
mm-hmm.
Just to get rid of the ramp, which is fair enough. At least Focus the Mind at least allows you to take over the game that much quicker.
Yeah, I think they've kind of realized that. I think what Cooper needs to do is they need to sort of play an even game and just hope that your draws are better, rather than saying, well, I'm going to go to turn 10 and just make sure I'm going to have a long game. Only one Snakeskin Veil in Nikum's pool now. Haven't seen Aurora the Endless Song yet, though. So that on turn 5 is a problem that nobody knows about. One land, easy mulligan.
We got 2 lands, Einok Wayfarer, looking good. There's an uncastable Corroding Dragonstorm, a Teamer Monument, Sarkhan's Resolve, Kishla Trawlers. There's a decent number of cheap stuff.
So
Get yourself set up.
Swamp Forest here, and keeping a Severance Priest, debating between putting back Severance Priest and a second Salt Road Skirmish. They like to keep double removal.
Makes sense.
So Nikum's first play is going to be a 3/2 Menace, and Cooper's opening hand is Einok Wayfarer and just try and make their plays.
Yep.
Anything top heavy in their hand.
I don't know what they're hesitating so much about. They might be distracted. I don't know.
You said what's the top end in their hand look like?
So it's Island Forest, Wayfarer, Corroding Dragonstorm, Sarkhan's Resolve, Teamer Monument, Kishla Trawlers.
Yeah, so
honestly, these Trawlers have not been very inspiring.
yeah, the lack of something like a Molten Exhale to get back, which is probably like the best use case for it. It's just pretty disappointing.
All right, drew a Sonic Shrieker, not going to be castable anytime soon. Well, I guess we can grab a Mountain with this and then hope to get a Swamp with Einok Wayfarer. With this Teamer Monuments there holding casting, yeah.
Did you say that they had a Dispelling Exhale in hand?
No.
Okay. Well, the best card in the deck coming on down.
Oh no, it's another Surveyor on 2 again.
No, it's Delta Bloodflies.
Oh, ooh.
Problem is that
When you hear
there's
its buzzing
no.
flea, when you see its proboscis, it's too late.
Problem is that there's no
Delta
counters in hand.
Bloodflies.
Yeah, that's not. You really wanted to grab that swamp off this.
When okay, never mind. I was gonna say, like, I didn't see Swamp when they went to grab a line with Teamer Monument, but I'm not sure if like a Swamp would just be like shuffled in with the rest of the non-eligible cards.
I
in that
think so,
case.
yeah. So there's a second Bloodflies and 2 removal spells in hand. That's pretty strong. If there can be like a Sage of the Fang, would probably be Nikum's best top deck.
Dragon's Brood Relic off the top, another promising thing if this mana comes together.
Yeah, that's looking really nice. You can probably just play the Kiss for Trawlers here raw, because you can just need bodies.
You can just tap the Wayfarer, right?
Yeah, it's not blocking anything anyway, and you ability to get back in the counterspell I think is very important here with not really much going on in your hand.
Right. They also have the option to throw out this Corroding Dragonstorm and Surveil off it. That's less mana efficient.
Yeah, because this means that next turn you can tap the Wayfarer, play Corroding Dragonstorm, and then counter the next impactful spell, which I think is a really, really big deal. So you're going to take 6 here. And yeah, there's not really much else you can hope for if you're Nikwam. You just gotta win the game before this Relic is online. Yeah, that's probably gonna. They can destroy it with Assault Road Skirmish, but that's not really adding to Nikwam's long-term game plan.
Yeah, the damage has been done.
Nikwam also top deck Strategic Betrayal, which is looking pretty sad with just this Wayfarer going to get sacrificed. It's basically tapped every turn anyway.
Encroaching Dragonstorm off the top.
So this will enable you to get your... if they have any planes? I don't think so. No, wait, that means that the Relic is online next turn. But you're aware that there's a counterspell just lurking right now, so you don't really have any choices. I guess the hope is that you draw land here, enable you to play the second Bloodflies.
Oh, destroying the Bloodflies to deny the shuffle is pretty funny.
Oh, that is a nightmare.
That's how you know Bloodflies is the go. It warranted a removal spell.
This is interesting.
Man, that Teamer Monument is sackable.
I'm a little puzzled by the decision to exile the Einok Wayfarer there. Like I guess it's like you're not. It's not going to be better than that because they're just going to sacrifice the 1/1 anyway. But you have a potential top deck of just playing Delta Bloodflies into maybe getting a counter on it. I think is kind of your only solution here. So I think this game.
And here's our best land. Here's our land of the hour. And Monastery did a ton of work last match, and Steve pulling you even further ahead here.
Yeah, this game is looking pretty locked up. You gotta have to take 5
I think
here.
the delta between these board states is pretty stark.
That's quite true. So Nikwam has a Scavenger Regent in hand, but it's just not going to be impactful enough. You don't have.
That's the 7-mana dragon, right?
It's the 4/4 mana 4/4 with the X black board wipe mode.
Oh, right, of course.
Yeah, you just don't have enough lands to make this work at this point.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they're not just cracking this relic. Oh, I guess they want to keep the counterspell up. Okay, that's completely fair.
Also, you can just wait until something more worth shocking shows up. Bolting, helixing, whatever.
Yeah, this turn you're going to take another 5. They're going to go to 15. Actually 16, but... Yeah, I'm more excited best that this is just a really awkward hand. Delta Bloodflies off of Mulligan and no ways to give it counters.
Really getting to live the Dragon dream over here.
Yeah, Corroding Dragonstorm looking fairly strong here now. Filtering lands out of the deck, making your next draw just even stronger. Cards in the graveyard for Cooper is how many? They have. I see 14 lands visible from my screen. So if there's any more in the graveyard,
I don't know. I think the only self mill they did was the Wayfarer.
Hmm.
I don't think they got any lands off that, or if they did, they put one into their hand.
Yeah, this is just count unless you play 4.
Oh, I will note they were when they went to grab those lands with Dragonstorm, it only showed 4 forests. So there's like 2 lands in their deck now.
Right.
Right, they're an 18 lander. Gotta remember that. There's a Scavenger Regent on the top.
Oh, Scavenger Regent of their own.
Yep. There's got to be a word for like when kings meet, you know? It's a regent. The regent reconnaissance, folks.
Yeah, I agree that it's a little odd that they're not just cracking the relic and making a nice big juicy 4/4. They're kind of going through all these moments just to get the exact same thing. Yeah, the monastery land has really been popping off.
Wayfarer and Opulent Palace into the graveyard.
I think that's literally every single land because there's some in the graveyard as well and in exile. All right, never
Okay.
mind. Yeah, wrapping it up. Wow, going for another game 3. What a great series this has been. Skull Slime taking out the Strategic Betrayal Edict and putting in another Snakeskin Veil. Trying to be more assertive here, ensuring that their flyers can trade with counters, stuff like that.
Gemhide is putting in Jadecast Sentinel, 1/5 reach.
Okay, yeah, that's...
How do you focus the mind?
I can see that. Like, unless it's literally the the 2-drop Scavenger, Sinkhole Surveyor? Yeah, Sinkhole Surveyor. It kind of just blocks a lot of the threats.
See, they took out an Endless Whisper for something, but I'm not spotting what just yet. And that's... Oh, they're messing with their lands. That's what's going on here.
Just trying to get more source counts, or...
They're on the play, so... Yeah, they might have cut a land last game, and now they're putting it back in now that they're on the play.
Yeah, it's believable. Yeah, I agree with you, Noya. That's interesting that the not immediately putting the leopard in, because there's so many Dragonstorm enchantments, and the relic is really strong. Nikum's plan is just to beat down with the +1 counter stuff like that.
It looks like Nikum is definitely the hero here, piloting the Absent deck against the dirty, filthy 5-color dragon pile.
So 4 lands, Revival of the Ancestors, Sage of the Fang, the 3-drop, and Trader Envoy, the 4-mana 4/3.
It's shaky.
It's not the strongest, but suddenly this hand got a lot better. Delta Bloodflies.
Gemhide's got a very solid hand themselves. Not a ton of action, but Wayfarer, Stormbrood, Sentinel, and then 2 each of Forest and Swamp. Just drew Quarry Mountain Monastery, so there's your red secured, and your long-term card advantage.
Oh, those are three brutal mills. Some of the best cards in the matchup.
There's too much lag. I only see the Dragonstorm got milled. What else?
It was the Relic and Shiko.
Oh yikes!
So I
Oh
think,
man, and there's a counter on this Bloodflies.
yeah, Stormbrood's just got to take this Bloodflies out right away.
Yep. Swat that.
Now, folks, if you had any doubts about the power of Delta Bloodflies, there you have it.
It takes a dragon to defeat a fly.
Difficult choice here. If you play Revival of the Ancestors to be mana efficient, you're not really making any progress on the board. Once you trade off your Sage of the Fang, which is... Oh, with Scavenger Regent that got milled, not Shiko.
Yeah, unfortunately, in the face of Revival of the Ancestors, this hand is not inspiring. Oh, drew another Stormbrood, disrupted Stormbrood, so that might buy a bit of time. But otherwise, we just got 3 lands, Dispelling Exhale, which we can't cast, and an Embermouth Sentinel, which is only going to be able to put a land on top of the deck without a dragon around.
Anything to instant speed to do here? Let's check it out. No counter spells to be expected here. Yeah, that's a brutal. It kind of. I'm not sure why they wouldn't.
Surprised that they let that resolve without even casting it, or is it a sorcery?
It's a sorcery only. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with Snakeskin Veil in hand, Trade Route Envoy next turn just going to draw a card. Yeah, Romeric, the problem is that the Black Regent is actually milled. So Cooper really needs something here, and yeah, that just wraps it up.
A little underwhelming, but
Especially considering, I mean, Bloodflies is really just the key there. Demanding the removal.
You see the play booster error. Just having any 2-drop that can sometimes demand removal, any at all, even if it starts as a 1/2, can give you a real advantage.
Yeah, that's surprising to not play the 2/1 there in that situation. I mean, you just have to sandbag it later. Like I guess the idea is that maybe you play the 5-mana dragon and then you can ramp with it, but you just got to prevent the damage in that situation.
Yeah, and also just getting a mountain out so you can start activating Monastery and hopefully like claw something into your hand. There you go, Abzan. Abzan's the winner of the 11th hour.
The people's champion, Abzan, takes it home.
Headlined by known unplayable, Delta Bloodflies.
Bloodflies takes it home. All right, let me disable that. So that looks like Gold Slime is our community draft champion. That's not sure what the rest of the standings are, but clearly a lot to learn here for myself in terms of the spectating during the draft. I gotta really figure that part aspect here. But it was a really fun event. I'm glad we got to host this, and please leave me any feedback if you think the event could be improved in the future. And I hope everyone enjoyed this. Been enjoyable to put together. Thanks for Cryo for joining me on this whole thing, and I'll see if I can get the video of this uploaded, and I'll see you around later. Thank you all for watching.